Hi everybody, welcome to another EGG video. This is a very cool one for us. We're having a chat to Ame, otherwise known as Lonefox. He is from the Brew Lab on YouTube. Local Sappho who travels the world doing cool stuff, but more importantly for him and for us, he's an arena streamer. And the reason we're chatting to him today is because he's been invited, and I think this isn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't your first invite to the early access event on Arena.
Yeah, I think it's onto my sixth or so one. Well, first of all, thanks for the introduction. It's good to be here. Coming at you guys from Bali, Indonesia, but yes, originally from Cape Town, South Africa. You might hear that from the accent.
Okay, so let's start like this. How long have you been streaming for, and how did you get? I suppose the most important, most relevant question for folks back here and doing what we do, because we have a couple of streamers locally who do this kind of thing as well. But if you could just give us some background, how long have you been streaming for? How did you get noticed by WotC? When did you get your first invite? I mean, how did that happen? What was that process?
It's actually a lot less glamorous than it sounds. So I guess, I mean, because I'm still small fish, sitting on just a little under 1,000 subscribers. So it's really got nothing to do with, let's say, the size of your audience or, clout or, look at my big social media following or anything like that, which is what I initially thought. So they just, there's an email address that is available. I think it's on their content creator little links on the main website. You send them an email and with all your social media links, and they'll come and have a look at your channel, and if you align with their branding and whatever, then you just get an email invite, and once you're in for good. So I must have sent a really good email when I first did so, because I was even smaller then. I might have only had about 500-600 subscribers. So yeah, it's great. It's great. It's been great for the channel, great for content. It's fun. I get to play against all those other big names like CGB and stuff. It's been fantastic every time. And the team that runs it over at Wizards runs a really tight ship. Fantastic job. The rollout of the patch and all the little things that we need to do on our end to make sure that it happens smoothly has been just more and more seamless every edition. Yeah, absolutely grateful to the dudes at WotC.
Cool, man. So you mentioned a couple of big names. Well, you mentioned CGB. Who's the biggest streamer you've come up against?
Well, I've taken down Crokies 100%. But I must say the biggest and most surprising scoop I got was of Jim Davis. Wow. Top 8 last Worlds or something, and I can't remember what I was playing. I have it on camera, and I think he just bricked or didn't make his third land drop and just scooped on me, even though it's expressly prohibited in the rules of the early access. So.
Oh, really? No scooping.
But that was good. That was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole point is we're all recording. We're trying to get content.
That's
so anyone
awesome.
that scoops kind of ruins it for the others.
Yeah, I would imagine it does. For you, when you sent that email the first time and you got and then you got a reply, what was that like for you? I mean, at that stage in your streaming career, to get that reply going, welcome on board, whatever it said, I don't know what it said. How did that feel?
Fantastic, so good. I mean, obviously, at that point in time, I was so focused on the channel. I was just trying to get over 500, really plugging away, and I just shot in the dark. Why not? And it was actually Hello Good Game, Canadian fellow content creator who I've been in touch with since he was much smaller, and supporting him before I even decided to start a channel. He's kind of, he's the reason that I actually got going. Okay. And he sent out this thing to all his Discord people, hey, if you guys are keen, I got this email, you should just email them, and this is how you do it, and blah, 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 blah. And I just went, okay, let's do it. And it worked.
Cool.
and I know, there's people I know that I'm friends with online from the States and whatnot that have way smaller channels who I've sent that email to, and they've gone on and gotten invites. So it's really just luck of the draw. It's definitely worth trying.
Well, there you go. Anybody local who's out there, give it a whirl. You never know what'll happen. Maybe EGG will try it. Maybe we'll get some early access stuff.
I'll send you the email address, and you can pop it in the description or whatever.
Cool, man. That would be fun. But okay, when is early access now?
It's today.
It's
as far
today.
as me recording this, okay, we're in the same date. There's people in the States that are still in like sometime in the middle of the night, but it's starting today at 10 a.m. PT Pacific time.
Okay. All right, cool.
And it's a full 24 hours God account.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you basically, and they've pre-crafted all the cards for you, so you don't have to go and like track boosters anymore. You just come in and the whole set's there.
Everything's there available. You could just start brewing and going bananas.
Oh, and March of the Machine is looking lit.
March of the Machine, it looks like a very powerful set. I think there's some crazy cards out there. So let's jump into that straight away. Let's just get in there. So obviously you're a brewer. You're one of those players who likes to brew things, likes to make your own decks. You don't like to follow what the meta is so much. You like to see if you can work ways of making cool interactions happen with the cards you play. What cards are you most excited about to add into or to expand on current builds you've got for March of the Machine?
Well, I am working on a top 10 list that I'm going to put up on the channel soon. But, I mean, in general, the Praetor cycle, that turn, the backside is a saga. Dude. I find that to be a really, like, creative, design space.
Urabras looks broken.
Finally a good Urabras.
And the Shieldred.
I don't know, like, which is going to be the easiest to flip,
Yeah.
I think for now, Urabras looks the easiest to me. But in terms of raw power, like of what you get once you flip it,
Shieldred's crazy.
Half in, half out. Yeah.
My colors, though,
nuts,
so anything Rakdos works for me. We bring it.
Yeah, I mean, opening up some little sub archetypes as well, when they have these signpost uncommons that show, they're pushing a certain archetype, which is usually mostly for, limited and draft. But then sometimes it's strong enough that it makes a splash into constructed.
Sure.
And there's a pretty strong, like, +1/+1 counters, Selesnya, which has always been the kind of decks that I enjoy, like this kind of janky splash counters everywhere. There's this 4-mana from Brothers War. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name now. Depending on the Grixis one was the Blade Coil Serpent, and then depending on if however many copies of like white, green you cast.
Sure.
It puts that in a +1/+1 counters synergies deck with the new uncommon signpost. It's looking really strong. Like I've got 20 brews already lined up for tomorrow or for later tonight. But the one I'm the most excited about is this +1/+1 Selesnya brew. Might like finally take over from Selesnya Toxic, which I've been a little bored of playing against, honestly.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that. There's been a lot of I've been running an Explorer for a while, and I'm seeing a lot of Atraxa reanimator stuff going on. I'll be happy to see that sort of leave for a little while when people play some new cards. I'm just having a look here on Scryfall. I'm just going through the white cards to see if there's any that sort of stand out for me as something that I would obviously the Alish Norn, Archangel Elspeth that's a super duper card. I'm just looking
but it's always about those little, like, uncommons and commons that unassuming, but then end up being the most format warping. I was particularly interested in I don't know if you can get it up on your screen, but Surge of Salvation.
That's a very cool card.
That might
and
even
also, I must be honest, the artwork on that card is spectacular. So, Surge of Salvation, one white for an uncommon instant, you and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. So definitely some color hate going on, which is kind of cool. I haven't done that for a while. But that, I mean, also, and like I say, just the artwork on that card is absolutely spectacular. It's I used it as a background for one of our socials the other day simply because the art was just so cool.
Okay, so you're onto the Surge already.
Yeah, no, the Surge is a good looking card to me. There's some interest. This Incubate mechanic, what do you think of Incubate?
I think it's going to be really strong. It's probably the one, I don't know, that when you first sort of just looking at the cards during spoilers, it doesn't seem to be, you know, thinking, it's really slow, and then I got to pay to flip those little encounters. But I think sneakily it's going to be the most impactful mechanic of the set.
Yeah.
There's so many cards that flip all your stuff in one go type of thing. I love it how they'll resist sweepers, and then you can just after sweeper,
flip them afterwards.
Flip them after.
So just speaking of that, here's a card: Sunfall, 3 and 2 white, sorcery speed rare. Exile all creatures. Incubate X, where X is the number of creatures exiled this way.
Exactly.
So another sort of White Sun's Twilight, another way of wiping the board and building your board back up faster than your opponent's.
And it's cheaper. Like that's only 5 mana. It's a turn before you'd have to hit them with Farewell.
Yeah.
That's actually cool. Really nice.
And then
especially against
I see we have Prowess back, Vigilance obviously, and Convoke is back. So for your Celestia +1s, Convoke's going to be a thing.
There's where is it? I'm a little bit on it, but there's this Knight Errant of Eos, which works well with that, I think. Creatures matter type of a deck.
Sure.
When it ETBs, look at the top 6 cards of your library, reveal up to 2 creatures with mana value X or less. Put them where X is the number of creatures that convoke Knight of Errant. Put the reveal cards into your hand. So it's more of like a refill than onto the battlefield.
Sure.
And it's not giving +1/+1, but the strongest white convoke card for sure.
Yeah, I mean you could pay 1 white for that, for a 4/4 body.
Exactly.
and get card advantage. I mean that's awesome.
Exactly. It's just like in an aggro deck, you want to be using the creatures to convoke this, or just hit the opponent in the face.
Okay, so let's talk about the big thing that's obviously happened with this particular set. We have a new card type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Battles.
We've got battles. What were your initial thoughts on the battle card? What did you think?
Anything that brings a new element to the brewing, adds an extra layer, to the brewing when you're creating your decks. Another way of playing the game just is, that's my first reaction to anything like this is sweet, more new cool things to do in the game. Happy Lonefox. But then in terms of impact on the format, it's going to be interesting, and I think they'll probably test and see, especially in limited and draft, how it ends up playing out.
Sure.
And whether it's a fun environment for us, and then if it ends up being good, I can see them bringing it on. Already I watched a big interview with Mark Rosewater, the head designer at WotC. He was saying how these ones are all called sieges. They're battle sieges, but that leaves design space open in the future if it looks like we're enjoying playing with them and whatever.
Yeah.
But then they could have maybe tax or different types of battles going forward.
That'd be cool.
Let's see. It's always so hard to tell before you've actually played with them.
Yeah, I would imagine it is. So that's again if we go through the battles, and I'm not going to go through every single one of them. I mean, everybody, you guys can go check it out on.
There's so many.
Yeah, you can go check it out on all the various platforms. I suppose one of the easiest places is just scryfall.com, where they've got the full preview. I'm sure there are other sites that have the full preview as well that you can just go and have a look at the cards. But there are a few that kind of stand out as fairly potent battles.
No, for sure. I've got my eye on a few of them.
Which are the ones that you've got your eyes on? Let's do it like that, and then I'll pull them up here.
Well, there's one that reanimates on. I'm trying to look sideways at these things.
Yeah, me too.
It's in the multicolored in Orzhov, which I think is going to go really nicely with. Here it is, Invasion of Tolvada. Same mana cost as all of the most played reanimation spells in standard right now, and it's such a popular archetype. We've got in both Justice, Cruelty of Gix. All of these things are 5 mana spells, and this costs 5 mana ETBs, and you return a target permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, so like pretty much anything
you like.
And then you get this backside, which, if you can ever get to flip it, at the beginning of your end step, you get a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying.
Wow.
And it has this, I think this one's going to be pretty good, especially with the new 7 mana Kaya and some sort of like Orzhov control.
Yeah. Yeah, that's especially, a bit nutty.
That's a good one. And then the other one that I've had that I'm really kind of scared of is the one with Flash.
Yeah, there's a black one.
Yeah. It just does -13, -13.
Yeah, it's just a killer thing.
I'm calling it like Black Wandering Emperor, the battle version.
It's the Invasion of Innistrad, 2 and 2 black. Flash, when Invasion of Innistrad enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets -13, -13 until end of turn. And then it flips into Deluge of the Dead, which has got, again, some really cool artwork. When Deluge of the Dead enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, 2 and a black, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create 2/2 black zombie creature token. Very flavorful for Innistrad, bringing the undead into it, which I think is fantastic. But also,
and we still have the two sets with the zombie tribal stuff going on. So
absolutely.
I'm definitely going to try to jam it in there. With
that's going to be weird. Black blue zombies just got a battle.
I love it how they could do this with the set, because it's every plane. So there's little support. There's a couple of new vampires. There's a couple of new bits and pieces for everyone.
I see. There's even a new like in the limited. If you look at the limited archetypes, we've even got a knights archetype going on. Which I think is quite cool. Although weird colors for knights, blue, white, I think is where they're heading at. But still,
it's just a thing like Teferi went and got the knights and came back from.
That's right, because they're all Zulfir. They're all from Zulfir.
Precisely.
Yeah. So on that, just a question: do you follow the storyline at all, or do you just play?
Yes, I do. Of late, of the last 3-4 sets, I'm like, why not? It comes out. I've got it on my phone. I just before I go to bed. They're always quite short little chapters, and I find it really makes playing with the cards a lot more fun. And
okay,
it's not fantastic, top-notch fantasy writing, but
it's there. It's there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Okay, but now we're going to talk about a card. We're going to talk. This is a card, right? So I've been going through these things, and I've been picking out cards that I think are going to be quite broken in the new set and in play as we go. And I feel like Etali, Primal Conqueror, is going to be a thing.
Okay, what color are we looking at here?
It's red, 5 and 2 red. For a 7/7 legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur with Trample. When Etali Primal Conqueror enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost.
What?
Then you can pay 9 and 1 green Phyrexian mana, so either 2 life or 1 green. Transform Etali. Activate only as a sorcery. It then transforms into Etali Primal Sickness with Trample and Indestructible and 11/11 Elder Dinosaur. When Primal Sickness deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. You're dead.
They spoiled, when he does his Myro's teaser, they were saying, there's a creature capable of doing 11 toxic in one go.
Yeah.
This is the one he was talking about.
So,
wow.
This card's nuts.
nuts. Like just another great reanimation target. It's got a sick
Right?
ETB, and if it survives for a turn, you're
Because you
turning this
can
thing into-
dodge the 7 mana cost easily now with the reanimation ability, like the sort of the reanimation archetype that's running around. Happily just
Maybe
pop
even
this
some
into
sort
the
of
graveyard,
Gruul fight rigging, Jund fight
Dude,
rigging.
Fight rigging. Stick this under a fight rigging. What the hell?
Then wouldn't you just you can pick which side? No.
No, it'll come in on the front side.
No. Yeah, it has to come in on the front side.
It'll come in on the front side.
So it's a transform.
But still,
that's right.
I mean, that's a busted ass card. That's
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the little power level creep that's been going on the last couple of sets.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm all for it. It might be the one thing that's like stops people from playing. Invoke Despair and Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
You're not a fan of Invoke Despair.
Hey, I've cast my fair share of Invoke Despairs, but it's getting a little tiring.
Okay, another card I like, but that's just because I'm a fan of this particular card, and I'm really kind of sad it's being completed in a way, but in another way it's cool to have him back. But Polychronos Reborn, 3 green for a 4/5 Hydra with reach that has the ability to pay 6 and 1 white Phyrexian mana, transform Polychronos Reborn, activate only as a sorcery. It transforms into the Engine of Ruin, a Phyrexian Hydra, which is a 6/6 with reach and lifelink. Whenever Polychronos, Engine of Ruin, or another non-token Hydra you control dies, create a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with reach and a 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token with... I mean, it's a worm coil engine on a Hydra.
Yeah. And, the front side is super competitively costed. Like, not only did we just get the 3 mana 4/4 trample and the bloated guy.
Yeah, sure. The
now we got a
Contaminator.
3 mana. Yeah, the Contaminator. Now we got a 3 mana 4/5 reach. I mean, the stats alone are on green.
And then we have to, I mean, we
pretty
can't listen. We cannot talk about green and 3 drops without going to our, well, okay, so Vorinclex is obviously in there, but Ren and Realmbreaker.
Yeah. Ooh.
I mean, what?
Hey, like a mana rock, or get down a little whatever. There's a few options now. Lana War on turn 2.
Yeah.
Play this out on turn 3 off of the mana from your mana dork, and then you can +1 on an untapped land that you have,
Yeah.
so you can defend it, and the land's got hexproof,
Vigilance and haste.
busted. I don't know, like I'm still not entirely sure which shell it's going to fit into. This milling thing. Maybe it's more to do with some kind of like
Well, I mean, if you think about
graveyard.
what we just said about Italy, right? So you run this in a Jund Reanimator.
Yeah.
And you're milling yourself to put cards in the graveyard to bring them back. So you mill out your Italy, play out your, use all your extra mana abilities thanks to this card to play out your Gix. What's the thing? The cruelty of Gix. Bring back Italy.
Turn 4.
Bam, boof, bow. Because cruelty of Gix has got read ahead, so you can just like play it for the last chapter. Just bring Italy back.
Straight up. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's some nuts stuff
man.
you could do with these cards. It's gonna be a really interesting. What do you think of these dual character cards? We've got Beryl and Korizev. We've got Bulbagos
wow.
and Fibblethip, Jerry and Hezeret, Drana and Linvala. Obviously, people are talking about the Gitrog monster and Thalia.
Yeah.
As a
that's
big one?
probably like the most playable ones,
Yeah.
But there's some ridiculous cards in here. Like, I don't know, Croxa and Kunaros, ridiculous card. Like some of them are just wow. Like the amount of text on some of these things. I'm really a huge fan of Rankle and Torbran.
Yeah.
Flying First Strike Haste.
Do you think they've got the flavor right for most of these? I mean, I sort of look at them and I wonder, like, being able to squash these two characters together, Do you think that? I mean, they must have put a lot of thought into
Absolutely.
how they were going to
Look,
make.
say what you
them
will.
work.
People love to complain about what's seed and blah blah blah, and like I for one, I'm definitely one of them when it comes to certain things. But lately, like the team that's actually behind the story and got nothing to do with like sales and Hasbro's and stocks and whatnot. They're just focusing on making the game cool for us. So, everything down to the artwork, it just keeps getting better. I don't know how they do it. Like, the art is ridiculously nice.
Yep.
The story keeps evolving. The flavor text, I think they nailed it. Like, if you listen to the interview with Rosewater, he talks about the scope of this thing. Like, they wanted it to be like the biggest Magic set ever. Because I mean, it's essentially involving every plane simultaneously being attacked by
So, well, look, it's over 1,000 cards in the set. That's massive.
Yeah. And like that means that, I mean, totally. Why couldn't these characters be together? It could definitely happen.
Yeah.
And it opens such a sweet like design space for them to just do these little mashups. And as far as I can tell.
So I just stumbled as I'm scrolling through over here on Scryfall. I just stumbled across another card that I think, besides those. And I agree with you 100%. I think that the artwork has been amazing in the last couple of sets. I've really been blown away by the level of art that's been coming out. There were sets previously. I mean, there was in Ikoria, there was I can't remember what it was called. It was that weird little sprite dragon. The sprite dragon that when you play instants and sorceries, it gets a +1/+1 counter and stuff. But there was an alternate art for that honestly I looked at and I was like, oh my God, what 3-year-old drew this? And I hate to say that because I know that some artists spent a lot of time on it and stuff, but just compared to the level of art that we've seen and had seen, I really didn't think it was up to scratch. And I can't actually think of anything since then that I can look at and go like, wow, that's not up to par. I think the artwork's been amazing. I think some of the card design has been incredible, just the way things work. And also what I'm starting to really notice is the forethought going into the planning of cards. So you may get a card in this set that you look at and go like, wow, this doesn't really do much here. But a set down the line, there's a whole new place that card fits into and makes things work. Like, I mean, look at cards like Unlucky Witness that came out in New Capenna. Right? I mean, people looked at that card when it came in like, why would you want this card? Now it's like, put it in a Rakdos build. Here we go. It's that kind of thing. So that's very, very
And it's
cool.
often, when they say he's like 5 years ahead, 3 years ahead designing. So like I mean, I can only imagine there's some kind of robot AI thing that just plays thousands of matches to like, I mean, just to keep the format balanced and, what we need to change, what do we need to put on.
So here's
what a job.
We mentioned earlier that there's a knight archetype that's come out. So one white, one blue for Marshal of Zulfir. 2/2 human knight. Other knights you control get +1/+1. So it's a knight lord. And then blue and a white, tap Marshal of Zulfir, tap another target creature. So somebody plays their big 11/11 Italy, you just tap it down, say thanks for coming.
Swing through.
Right?
And I think it's signaling like a kind of tempo-ish deck.
I suppose it's an uncommon because it's only a 2/2.
But like these days, these Anthem effect, these Lord effects, like they're all just 2 mana to upside. And competitively priced and statted, like 2 mana 2/2, that's fine.
Yeah.
And if it's also buffing your whole team and it's got an activated ability, it's just ridiculous. Like the amount of things cards can do these days.
Cool. Okay, so let's quickly so we've spoken about a whole bunch of cards. We've had a chat through some concepts and ideas. Let's just jump back to the early access that you're going to be involved in later on today.
Yes.
Without giving too much away, because obviously you want to save as much as you can for your stream, which we'll punt in a little bit. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. We're going to stick all the details up on screen. We'll get that out before Ame goes live for us this evening, and you guys can all catch him live on stream. That'll be awesome. But what are the decks you're looking at playing this evening? What the things that for you are going to be the most fun to play? And I saw your stream the other day. You were looking at sort of some Izzet builds that you were looking to get some things into, some extra stuff into. There was a Boros thing that you were doing. I'm not sure if you're going to plan on taking the Boros thing any further. But what are the decks that you're keen on brewing up tonight?
Well, for sure, I'm going to start off with those tempo spells, matters, aggro. I never know exactly what to call them, but this kind of prowess slash,
spells.
Heroic.
Spells matter.
Spells matter, but with creatures, and because they've reprinted the monastery meta, I get a feeling that there could be something to it. And even that 1 mana instant that we looked at earlier, that gives protection
sure.
and hexproof. This monastery mentor, we've got the third path iconoclast in Izzet colors. So some kind of, I'm actually the most disappointed. The only thing that I'm really disappointed with this set was I was expecting, the completion of the dual lands that we got in the previous set.
Sure.
Izzet still doesn't going to have a fast land, and a few of the other colors that are good with this archetype. So I don't know if the mana is going to be good to go Jeskai, especially in a spells matter kind of deck. You may want to just go like 2 colors.
Sure.
But that having been said, there's a lot of these little prowess guys, and we've also got the 4 mana Jaya from a few sets back that makes little prowess tokens. That's definitely going to be my first one. Experimenting with prowess and tempo kind of spells matters decks for at least the first hour, and then we'll see. On to the next thing.
That sounds like fun, man. I think. Are you looking forward to it? I mean, obviously, it's something you look forward to. You get that God account. You can get whatever cards you like. You can do whatever builds you feel like.
It's the day I look forward to the most in the season, to be honest. I have the most fun. Like, it's just completely new cards, and that's what makes me happy. So,
fantastic. Yeah. Well, we are looking forward to seeing you do some crazy shenanigans. For those of you who are keen to watch, just jump over to YouTube, do a search for Brew Labs. You'll find him right there. Any other socials that they can catch you on? Well,
I'm on Twitter. Of course, there's my lovely Discord community. All those links are all over my social media, and you can find them on the YouTube channel as well.
Okay. And if they're looking for you on socials, they're looking for either Brew Labs or Lonefox?
Brew Lab.
All right, cool. And it's Brew Lab. It's one word. There's no S on the end. It's not like March of the Machines. Oh wait. But dude, thank you so much for making some time for us to have a chat. I really appreciate it. It's been a sort of an up and down battle for us to sort of get this organized between the time differences,
time zones,
and life and stuff like that. But also, just to let you know, we're planning on having another arena tournament early May. So you did take part in the last one, and you got yourself a playmate that I still have here for you, by the way.
Yes. One day I'll get my hands on that.
That'll be good. And then, check it out. We're going to be Egg 14 is happening. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think Explorer has been voted as the format of choice. So we'll be doing that.
Not my favorite, but I got some brews ready.
So some fun. I have a Rakdos thing that I'll be doing, getting my ass kicked with. but we'll take it from there. I on the other hand, am very keen for this weekend. It's pre-release weekend, and I am going to be at Top Deck on Saturday, doing my pre-release with a mate of mine whose birthday it is, and that's his birthday present. Is here's a pre-release. Come and have some fun. So
nice.
That's going to be a jewel. So everybody out there, go and get your pre-release on, because it's going to be a hell of a play. But other than that, Ame, again, thanks so much, dude. I know that you got a lot of stuff going on. Also need to prep for tonight, and look after your fams. And thanks for making the time for us, man. Really appreciate it. We'll chat to you again as soon as we can. Maybe chat to you after the event, and you can tell us what it was like, who you took down.
Absolutely.
If anybody didn't watch. All right.
Stay tuned.
Absolutely. And until then, peeps, don't forget, go to YouTube, look for Brew Lab, and find him on all the socials. And until then, we'll see you on the battlefield, my friend.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers, everybody.